What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, there has been crossover from Formula One into NASCAR in the past however many years, and I'm curious into knowing how good or how bad they did in NASCAR. Let's go check it out.
There have only been 34 people to ever walk the earth who ran both an F1 and a NASCAR National Series race. Here's each of them and how they all fared. We'll start with the lightning.
Wait, we're gonna do a whole 34 of them? Oh my gosh. And luckily, it's not a long video. Thank you very much for the summary.
Round of some of the older guys that are lesser known. Bob said ran one race in each series in 1959, finishing 18th at the US Grand Prix and 50th in the Daytona 500.
I don't think I can qualify him as a Formula One driver or a NASCAR driver. One in each? Get out of here, bruv.
Bob Bondurant raced in 9 F1 races and 4 Cup races in the 60s and 80s, scoring an average finish of 24th at NASCAR. Chuck Day ran in 3 F1 races and 2 Cup races, only finishing 2 of those 5.
Wait, hold on.
Day ran in 3 F1 races and 2 Cup races, only finishing 2 of those 5.
Okay, I want to know what else these guys were doing, because they seem like they were part-timing in all kind of different races, but they're not very good at either one of them. So actually, that's a lie. We didn't know how well they did in Formula One. I take that back. I take it back. Okay.
Vic Elford ran 13 F1 races and 4 NASCAR races in the late 60s and early 70s. His best finish in F1 being a 4th in the 1968 French Grand Prix, and in NASCAR an 11th place in the 1969 Daytona.
Okay. In the Daytona, 11th place. All right, give my man the props right now.
Daytona 500. Frank Gardner was an Aussie who ran 8 F1 races and 1 NASCAR race, where he only made it 2 laps before his engine gave out. Walt Hanskin ran 2 F1 races in the 60s, scoring a top 5, and 3 Cup races, all at road courses, where he scored 2 third-place finishes.
Okay, so his skill was translating, and we are getting better and better. Hell yeah.
Innes Island ran 50 F1 races from 1959 to 1966 and finished his career with 1 win and 4 podiums. In 1967, he attempted to run the Daytona 500. He qualified 20th, but his engine failed halfway through the race, resulting in a DNF.
Okay, now that is the first legit person I've heard so far. He had many races in Formula One. Won a race even, and then several top fives. Yes, English. Anyway. Yeah, legit man, Mr. Ireland. Let's go.
He qualified 20th, but his engine failed halfway through the race.
I think it's a common thing for engines to blow up in NASCAR, right? You jump into the car, the first ever race and one only race, and you can't even finish the race. It's so sad.
Resulting in a DNF. Sam Posey started 2 F1 races at Watkins Glen as a backmarker driver in the early 70s. Before that, he had run in the Cup Series at Riverside, where he had mechanical problems and finished 28th. David Hobbs, an Englishman who ran select F1 races in the 60s and 70s, ran 2 Cup races in 1976, where he struggled, though he did manage to lead 2 laps in the Daytona 500 before crashing out. Brian Naylor was another Englishman who ran 7 F1 races and 2 Cup races, finding little to no success in either series, only finishing 2 of those 9 races. Jackie Oliver.
Damn. 2 out of 9 is crazy. A whole bunch of DNFs. I guess reliability back then was it was a struggle, I should say.
Oliver ran 49 F1 races in the 60s and 70s, scoring 13 points and 2 podiums.
4 seasons, 13 points and 2 podiums. Okay, kind of like at the back, but still at the front at the same time. What? That is wild.
But in 8 Cup races, he would only finish 1, a 4th place at Dover in 1972.
That is not bad at all.
Bobby Unser, better known for his open wheel racing in the States, ran an F1 race in 1968, finishing 17th, and 4 Cup races in the following years, his best finish being a 4th at Riverside. George Follmer started 12 F1 races in 1973 and scored 1 podium. He had a more extensive career in NASCAR, where he ran a variety of tracks. Surprisingly, he performed better on ovals than road courses, as he couldn't seem to put together a good run at Riverside, but landed 3 top 5s at Rockingham, Atlanta, and Dover in 1974.
That's usually the opposite, isn't it? Like the Formula One drivers, or people that do track racing, they get onto NASCAR and they become all right at road courses, but this guy went the other way.
Bella Lombardi ran 12 F1 races in the 70s with a best finish of 6th and 1 Cup race in 1977, DNFing out of the Firecracker 400. Joe Schlesser attempted the 1964 Daytona 500, where he finished 13th. A few years later, he would fatally crash in his F1 debut. And Indy 500.
Yikes. on his debut as well. That's mental. That is mental.
100 champ in 1968, Bobby Rahal ran 2 F1 races in 1978 and 1 NASCAR race in 1984. All 3 races were uninspiring, his best performance being a 12th in F1 at Watkins Glen, while in NASCAR he would finish 40th at Riverside.
All right,
Lightning round over,
let's
get to the more famous guys.
Let's keep that one. Let's keep that
Mario
one.
Andretti is our first entry
There
on the
we
main
go.
list.
Now
Perhaps
the name. These are the names I know. Mario Andretti.
Let's
Yes.
get to the more famous guys.
Yep.
Mario Andretti is our first entry on the main list, and perhaps the most successful to ever run both series.
Ooh.
Andretti ran the 2 simultaneously in the 60s and 70s. He was full-time in F1 though, where he won the Drivers' Championship for Lotus in 1978. But before he had even run an F1 race, he was already a Daytona 500 champion, having won in 1967. And on top of this, his Indy 500 win in 1969, and his class win at Le Mans in 1995, and it becomes obvious he's one of, if not the greatest racing driver to ever live.
Okay, I didn't know that. He already won the championship in NASCAR before he went over to Formula One, and then he won that as well. Oh my goodness gracious! Can anybody actually do that these days? I don't think so.
Pedro Rodriguez, a 2-time F1 winner in the 1960s, came stateside for 6 NASCAR Cup races starting in 1959. He only ended up finishing 3 of those races due to various mechanical issues, but when his car was working, he could showcase his talent, best demonstrated by a 5th place in the 1965 World 600.
That is not
the
bad.
youngest Indy 500 champion ever, Ruttman raced in F1 in the 1950s and would run 7 Cup Series races in the mid-60s after his F1 career ended. He would score 5 top 10s in his brief Cup career, 2 at the road course Riverside, 2 at Atlanta, and 1 at Daytona. 5 out of 7, a pretty good performance. Dan Gurney started his F1 career in 1959 and would end up racing the majority of the races in the 60s, finishing the decade with 200 laps led and 4 Grand Prix wins. Alongside this, Gurney started running select Cup races in 1962 and would become the king of Riverside, winning 4 races in a row from 1963 to 66, plus a 5th in 1968.
Okay, where did I get this rumor from that Formula One drivers have been terrible in NASCAR? Looks like they've been smashing it. They've won a few races.
Ovals, Gurney mainly ran Daytona and fared quite well, landing 3 top 5s in 62 and 63. A well-renowned 2-time F1 champion, it's not well known that Jim Clark ran a race in the NASCAR Cup Series in 1967. He ran at Rockingham, where he qualified 24th, and only made it 144 laps before the engine on his Ford expired. Lots of engine problems back then. I feel like I'm running out of ways to say the engine died.
Of course, I was saying exactly the same thing. The engines keeps going kaput back in the days. DNFs for everybody. You get a DNF, you get a DNF, you get a DNF. Everybody gets a goddamn DNF. Oh my goodness.
An F1 driver who ran 14 races and scored 1 podium in the 70s. Between F1 races, he entered into 6 Cup races starting in 1972. Donahue ran for Penske in both series, and in his first Cup race at Riverside, he qualified 3rd, but after some issues would finish 2nd to last. The following year, he came back to run Riverside again, and this time would pull off the win. He also ran some oval races, but performed pretty poorly. Full-time in F1 in 1983, Danny Sullivan scored 2 points driving for Benetton thanks to a 5th place at Monaco. He found much more success racing open-wheel ovals in the States, where he won the Indy 500 in 1985. Sullivan would try his hand at NASCAR in the 1990s when he had reached his mid-40s. He ran poorly and finished 33rd in the inaugural Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis, and despite planning on running the race again the following year, he would end up withdrawing from the race before qualifying. But
it seems like these Formula One drivers only go on to do, like they said, select races, maybe like the Daytona 500. So they don't even really get the chance to practice and be good at it.
In the 90s, I think NASCAR was becoming a lot harder to compete in, reflected well by Sullivan's struggles. An early 90s F1 driver who never could fully find his footing at Minardi, Christian Fittipaldi moved to IndyCar after his F1 career, and in the early 2000s would run quite a few NASCAR races. He started in the Busch Series where he struggled dearly, entering 5 races but DNQing for 2 and DNFing for the other 3.
Damn, it didn't qualify for 2.
Dearly, entering 5 races but DNQing for 2.
Damn, 5 entries, 2 DNQs, and
DNFing for the other.
Bro, it went 5 times, didn't make it to the track twice, and then got off the track 3 times. So it never really made it to the end. So did it really compete? Oh, that's some statistics right there.
Other 3. After this, he moved to Cup and would only finish 9 of the 19 races he entered, rounding out his career with a putrid average finish of 35.8.
Who the hell promotes him to a Cup Series if it was doing DNQs in the Busch Series? Or is there just too many people? No, actually, no. I wanted to justify it for him a little bit, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, he was not fast enough. So what the hell is he doing in a cup?
Admittedly, his car, the 43 on the dying Petty Enterprises team, wasn't very good, but he certainly did it no favors. We go straight from no success in either series to great success in both series. Juan Pablo Montoya had a great F1 career in the early 2000s driving for BMW Williams, where he scored 7 wins and finished third in the World Drivers' Championship twice. When he moved to NASCAR full-time in 2007, he almost instantly scored wins at Mexico City in the Busch Series and Sonoma in the Cup Series, and he was actually able to pull his weight pretty well at the ovals, scoring top 10s at Atlanta, Texas, Indianapolis, Dover, and Martinsville. Though he never quite scored that oval win, he came pretty close a couple of times. He would go on to win one more race at Watkins Glen in 2010 and would move on to IndyCar in 2014, where he had even more success. Despite all his achievements, us NASCAR fans typically only think of him slamming into the jet dryer under caution when his name comes up.
I still haven't seen this. I need to get a video that explains what the hell happened out here.
Whether you're an F1 fan or a NASCAR fan, I think when we see this name, we all grit our teeth. Poor driving and a rough relationship with the higher-ups at Toro Rosso got Scott's speed replaced mid-season in 2007, and he returned to the US to run in the Cup Series, where he would remain backed by Red Bull and land a ride with their Cup team. But unfortunately for him, that team was totally pathetic, especially the car he was stepping into. AJ Allmendinger, a good driver, did not qualify for half the races that he ran in that thing, and Speed would barely be able to score top 20s in his time in the car.
He went from fry pan to fire, as they say. Bro, it was driving bad, and then he got handed another horrible car. Bro, it was not meant to be. Maybe he should have gone into like the lower series and trying to come back and get somebody to give him a spot in a very good car, you know?
But he certainly did it no favors, and he would end his Cup career at Levine Family Racing, having run 118 races, yet only scoring 4 top 10s and 45 laps led, an average finish of 30.7.
That is bad.
The father of Kevin, Jan Magnussen, raced for Stewart in F1 in the late 90s.
I did not know that. Is that why his son is very cocky?
A decade after the end of his Formula One career, he ran a one-off Cup race at Sonoma, where he qualified way back in 32nd, but methodically worked his way up to a 12th place finish. The third F1 champion on this list, Jacques Villeneuve, ran excellently in the mid to late 90s for Williams, scoring 11 wins in a 2-year span. By 2006, though, he would hang it up in the F1 world and came back to North America, where he would run some NASCAR races. From 2007 to 2022, he ran in all 3 national series, but unfortunately for him, things didn't go quite so well. Villeneuve crashed out of half of his Truck Series races, failed to qualify for the 2008 Daytona 500, and averaged a 30th-place finish in the Cup Series.
Are they all crashing because they're not used to people smashing into them or touching other people, so they don't know how to control it when things like that happen? What is the reason why they all keep crashing? I want to know. The proximity, is it too close to each other? They can't breathe? You know, it's mental. I know it's completely different sports, a different ball game, but it's so shocking. Like, professional drivers can't keep you on the road. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
He did run well in the Busch Series, though, scoring 4 top 5s and a pole at Montreal in his 9 races in the series. Additionally, when he returned to NASCAR at 51 years old to try the Daytona 500 one last time, he would get a little bit of redemption, qualifying for the race and scoring a 22nd place finish.
At 51 years old, props to my old man.
Racing for Renault in the late 2000s, Nelson Piquet Jr. had a similar trajectory to Scott Speed. He had a lot of DNFs in 2008 and would be dropped mid-season in 2009, not to mention Crashgate going on behind the scenes while this all happened. After moving on, Piquet would run in all 3 NASCAR National Series in the early 2010s, finding some great success in the lower series in particular, winning 2 truck races at Michigan and Las Vegas, and taking the checkered at Road America and the Nationwide Series in 2012. Looking back on it, Piquet had one of the most seamless transitions to NASCAR of all time, and I kind of wish he stuck around to race more, but he would wind up leaving for Formula E in 2014.
Yuck. Don't even mention what he did in Formula E, because nobody wants to hear about Formula E. Formula, what the hell does E stand for? Electric racing just doesn't do it for me, man, honestly. Kimi Räikkönen, hell yeah, Iceman.
Man whose F1 resume speaks for itself, and who does it just as a hobby, Kimi Räikkönen has run 4 NASCAR races, 2 in the lower series during his F1 break in 2011, and 2 in the Cup Series after his retirement. The lower series races he ran on the Charlotte Oval, and in the truck race, for a guy with little oval experience, he did a good job, starting 31st and working his way up to a P15 finish. But his first Cup race at Watkins Glen was a missed opportunity. He was running top 10, but got cycled back by pit stops and was caught up in somebody else's problem and wrecked out. All things considered, despite the short stint in NASCAR, Kimi got to show some of his talent. Jenson Button had an 18-year F1 career where he won a championship at Braun in 2009. A few years after he wrapped things up and Button had been well into his career as a broadcaster, he decided to run 3 Cup Series road course races in 2023, COTA, Chicago, and Indianapolis. At COTA, he would finish 18th and would afterwards express some surprise at how contact-heavy NASCAR was.
I feel like this is exactly what I was talking about. They don't understand that people are banging into each other the whole goddamn race. Every time I watch it, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Is this racing? I remember the first time I saw, I reacted to one of these videos. I said, are they racing or are they trying to kill each other? And it's come from Formula One where if anybody sneezes anywhere near you, we're going to run to the FIA and be like, hey, yo, my man, this guy was right on my bumper. It was too close to me. I didn't like it. To getting clapped left, right, center, backwards, everything. What a shock to the system that must have been.
You could be minding your own business and get whacked in the rear corner, and they weren't even trying to overtake you. They just got pushed from behind.
His best performance was probably Chicago, where he qualified 8th and ran top 10, but would ultimately fall victim to the insanity that was that race, spinning out trying to enter pit road at the end of stage 1. After that, he couldn't quite recover and would end up finishing 21st.
How did he spin out going to the pit lane? Did somebody spin him out or did he spin himself out? It looks like he must have had contact from the back there.
Top 10, but would ultimately fall victim to the insanity that was that race, spinning out trying to enter pit road at the end of stage 1. After that, he couldn't quite recover and would end up finishing 21st, bested by another non-American. Daniil Kvyat was an underperforming F1 driver at Red
Bull. Torpedo! It's a torpedo! Hell yeah. I can't believe he went into NASCAR. I didn't even know. I have no idea. This is why they're saying Formula One drivers are not doing well in NASCAR, because some of them, okay, not all of them, some of them they were terrible in Formula One. So what the hell kind of expectation are we having for them to be doing in NASCAR? Okay, they are just not good at racing. Simples.
Bull, and after a few years in the junior team, would exit the series. In 2022, he ran 4 NASCAR races, all road courses, where he would qualify poorly, run poorly, and score 2 DNFs. He made a return to the Xfinity Series in 2024 at COTA, and would score one of his better finishes in NASCAR, a 21st place. An F1 driver for Sauber around 2010, Kamui Kobayashi left the series in 2014, and 10 years later ran 2 Cup Series road course races for 23XI Racing. Neither race went to plan, as Kobayashi would qualify in the 20s in both races and finish 33rd and 29th.
Damn.
Kevin Magnussen had an extensive F1 career for Haas, only recently leaving the sport after the 2024 season. In 2026, he made the trek out to San Diego to run in NASCAR's inaugural race at Coronado Naval Base. Magnussen, driving the 91 for Trackhouse Racing, would qualify 21st, run decently, score the fastest lap, but finish 27th in the end, in part due to getting stuck behind a slower Noah Gragson, which resulted in quite the funny incident off track after the race. Getting into run-ins in the midfield, an altercation off track, and the fastest lap of the race. Sounds like K-Mag was built for NASCAR. I hope he comes back for some more races in the future.
You can't fight K-Mag. He's ready for a fight. Look at him with the blonde hair. He's ready. This, about to go with a headbutt.
Incident off track after the race. Getting into run-ins in the midfield, an altercation off track, and the fastest lap of the race. Sounds like K-Mag was built for NASCAR. I hope he comes back for some more races in the future. To round it out, I'll quickly leave you with my top 5 best F1 to NASCAR drivers, factoring in success in both series. 5th is Nelson Piquet Jr., who impressively won 2 oval races, albeit in the Truck Series. 4th is Mark Donohue, who showed some great speed in both series, winning a Cup race. 3rd is Dan Gurney. 4 F1 wins and 5 Cup wins is impressive, no matter the time period, but I couldn't put him any higher due to the fact that he only performed well at the road courses. 2nd is Juan Pablo Montoya, a multi-time winner in both series, who also ran well at many ovals, an extremely rare accomplishment held by very few. But first has to be Mario Andretti, and it's not close. I doubt we'll see a Daytona 500 champion ever win an F1 Drivers' Championship again.
Damn. Wait, did I get that wrong then? I thought it won a championship Not just Daytona Championship. I thought it won the whole season, but looks like it might have won just the championship. I must have misheard. I'm sorry. Okay, all right. My man was doing the thing. I don't feel that will happen ever again. Like you said, like the competition is changed now. Like the racing, the level of expertise you need to handle those cars, or even manhandle those cars. You know, in this day and age, is completely different. And also, I don't even see like a NASCAR person going to Formula One and dominating. Different sports, different sports. I would love to see some people try it again though, but not after they've retired, or retire in their prime and still young-ish, maybe like 20s and 30s, and then get into it. Not like when they're 50. We don't want to see them come at 50 to do one race. That ain't gonna go well. Anyway, that is me for today. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like and all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Thank you very much for the recommendation.